The other item that I have is going to be a part of my Christmas wish list ideas. I have a couple of videos. I think I have 2 videos for Christmas wish list ideas. This Christmas wish list idea is for pet owners. So my recommendation to put on your Christmas wish list would be a pet insurance. Now, pet insurance is for any emergency medical treatment that your animal may need. I just want to emphasize that whenever your dog or cat has a medical emergency, those treatments can be costly. And of course, if we are in a position to pay for our animals to get treatment, if you are in a position to pay for your animal to get medical treatment, that's great. But if you're not, you definitely need pet insurance. Pet insurance can cost anywhere from $12.95 to $25.95, depending on how many animals you have and the type of animal you have, whether it's a cat or a dog. Now, I'm just talking from experience. My dog got sick last year with a disease called IMHA, and we took her to our local vet that she'd had already, and we got her to the vet because we found something abnormal, and the vet called us back and said there was an emergency and that our dog may have a disease called IMHA. So we rushed her over to the pet emergency hospital, and come to find out, it was true that she had a disease called IMHA. Now, IMHA is a disease found in animals, and veterinarians don't know the cause of it. Well, our dog at the time was 4 years old. She's 5 now, and she's doing great. But IMHA is a disease that the immune system attacks the red blood cells and causes anemia. So by the time we got our dog to the hospital, she needed a blood transfusion and 5 medications and 1 stay at the hospital. The veterinarian gave us the bill, and it was a $10,000 bill. We were fortunate enough to have pet insurance that my husband purchased literally 30 days before we found out that our dog was sick. So when the bill was presented to us, of course, my husband and I talked about it, and we were able to say yes, give her all the treatment that she needed to keep her alive, because the IMHA disease, if you don't catch it on time, it can take your dog or animal. But we were fortunate enough to have the pet insurance already, so we were able to negotiate the bill a little bit and say yes to all of the treatment. She got 1 blood transfusion, she got 5 medications, and 1 stay at the hospital. The next day we were able to bring her home, but with a blood draw, we found out that the medication had not kicked in yet, and the blood transfusion didn't work. So they recommended that we bring her back in for another blood transfusion and cross our fingers that the medication would kick in. So we took her back in, and this time she didn't need to stay at the hospital, but she did require the blood transfusion. It was going to take all day. That was another $400 bill. But like I said, because my husband had just purchased the pet insurance, we were lucky enough to be able to have all of the treatment done for her. And so she stayed the next day for the blood transfusion. It was all day thing, and we were sent home with all of her medication, and it was a pretty heavy regimen that she was on and that she was going to need to stay on for at least 6 months. And every week we had to get her blood drawn, and that was another, I think, $250 to test her blood to see where we were, because we wanted her blood levels to increase. And again, that was another $250 every time we had to do that. So with the pet insurance, we basically paid only 10% of every bill once all of the bills were submitted. The pet insurance paid 90% of every bill. So of that $10,000 bill, thank God most of it was paid for, and every single bill after that, I basically just submitted to them, scanned the documents, submitted them, and it took about 6 weeks, but they were all paid for. Again, I just want to clarify that the monthly subscription for these pet insurances are anywhere from like $12.95 to $25.95, maybe even $30. I don't know exactly how much they are, but they are a monthly fee. And this is probably the best gift that you can ask for if you are a pet owner and if you love your animals the way we do. This is my baby, and she has been IMHA free for a whole year. She is on some medication. She does take omeprazole and a steroid like every other day, and we get refills on those, and she still sees a doctor. She actually sees a specialist, and we still get those bills paid for. Every time she sees a specialist, and now it's every 6 months. Every 3 months, if we think that she may need to see her, we'll take her in, but for the most part, it's every 6 months. Those bills are $500. So this video, again, is part of my what should I put on my Christmas wish list, whether it be your husband that's going to buy it, your parents that's going to buy it, or yourself. Purchase a pet insurance. Now you can find a pet insurance online. Just Google pet insurance. If you want to know what pet insurance we use, ask me in the comments and I'll give you the information. Like I said, I think we only pay $12.95 for my 5-year-old Shih Tzu. And it's the best money I've ever spent, because if anybody knows me, I love her so much. Like, I love her so much. Like, I would have just, I mean, it would just broke my heart, like, forever if I would have lost her a year ago. And the disease that she had, unfortunately, if you don't find it fast and if you don't know that it's happening to your animal, if you don't know right away, like, it can take their lives really fast. So, I mean, we literally realized that she was sick in one day. And if we hadn't rushed her to the hospital, probably like that overnight, we would have lost her. We may not have been able to save her because the medication takes a while to kick in. So this information is from me to you. Merry Christmas, and like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Like this video, share it with anybody that you know who loves their pets, and sharing this video will be the best gift that you've ever given them. So have a Merry Christmas.